suitcase dream. Escaping blackout nights and a failing scheme. Touchdown wide-eyed under neon glow. Yeah, me the lights stay on all night long. From Cape Town flats to the Midwest snow. Learning fast where the cold winds blow. No more generators rattling in the dark. Now every street light shining in the park. Strong percussion rolling like the train of fate. New great trek through the departure gate. People mock them back across the sea, but now they live in large in Tennessee. VK laugh and point the finger. Just car God, she say with vigor. Simple people, no big degree, but the hustle talk louder than pedigree. Car gods in the USA, working hard every night and day. From the bright fire to the interstate, building new dreams in another state. Car gods in the USA, one section make the whole world sway. Skipped right past the FEMA line, now they sipping sweet tea, feeling fine. FEMA tents would be the scene. Rows of canvas on the TV screen. But them stories fade when the truth arrives. South Africans out there thriving alive. Apartments first, then houses neat. Pick up trucks parked down the street. Kids in school and bills all paid. Fresh new roots begin to get laid. Poor Mizeys dancing at the cookout flame. Trying hard to pronounce Chick-fil-A names. Robots now are traffic lights, not little gadgets blinking at night. Bright smoke drifting through the air. Neighbors asking what you're cooking there. Biltong words and reggae beats. Bassline rolling down the street. Backies become pickup trucks. Still complaining about bad road luck. But compared to potholes back in Jersey Town, the smooth highway never let them down. Car guards in the USA, turning struggle into better days. Laughing loud while the critics moan, making foreign places feel like home. Car guards in the USA, ANC tax base fade away. Every worker that depart the shore leaves another crack in the old front door. Doctors, welders, coders too. Farmers learning something new. Not everybody drove the tractor line, despite what papers try to find. Some clean cars and guarded malls. Some answered business office calls. But every one of them came to survive, and now they're watching dreams arrive. Cars in the USA, rhythm of the new great track today. From the Vale to Arkansas, still got poor rhythm in the heart. Yeah, car guards in the USA, hear the brass band proudly play. They said the migrants wouldn't last, now the car guards getting the last laugh. Funny thing about survival, boss, never underestimate the people who know how to hustle.
Ah, yes, car guards in the USA. Welcome back to another evening in Nelspruit, folks, down here in Mbombela, in Mpumalanga province these days, as they call it. Used to be part of the Transvaal, I think, way back when. Anyway, folks, so let's see what people got to say here. Mauricia Quinn, good evening to you. AJ Quinn, Vili, Pierre van Niekerk, all to his glory. Martin van der Merwe, Tinky Kiezer, Dusty Brumpa, Pierre van Niekerk. I noticed Hendo was on the Conscious Caracal stream, but not on mine. He's disappearing lately, I guess. Busy. Carl Erasmus is back. Michael Picara. Who else we got here? Pizza Party is here. Sandy Sun, okay. JF Fun of the Sun, okay. Some of these folks I met recently, including Mick Wolf, some tonight. I met Sinjvan, welcome to you. Who else? Debbie Ackerman is here. And then I haven't seen Yassine at all. Anybody seen Yassine? Yeah, let's hold off for a few questions for the moment, but I'm going to talk about that shortly. Trying to understand why, but otherwise all good. Says JF Fun the Sun. Has anyone watched the Idaho Murders doc? No, but I'm familiar with it. Judy Lang, good evening to you. Bossy Cup, Media on X. Snowing in parts of Joburg. I heard that. Yeah, good evening to you all to his glory. Thank you for the 14 rand. Who else we got here? Abraham van der Westhuizen. Okay, that was all before we started. CB is here. And I thought I saw Hunter there. I didn't. Okay, Cool Beans is here. Good evening, Cool Beans. Wacky Mantis. Okay, Dylan Combrick, OG there. People I've seen in meet and greets the past few days. Dylan over at Woodbridge Island, and then Cool Beans this evening. Okay. Richard said, I'm sad, missed the banning trolls, and I love to troll the trolls. But yeah, you missed it this morning. I put the hammer down on banned 4 trolls, and I gave timeouts to 7 people. Sometimes live doesn't start. You have to refresh, just the way it goes. Really, really far away is in Amsterdam. How's it going, man? Lynn Harris, Flinkdink. What else we got here? Mark Kennedy, hello to you. Lioness, hello again. Thing of Nouns. And Mike, welcome to you. Great stream with Aaron, except for the trolls. Well, the trolls weren't too many. Not like my morning stream was crazy today. Elmarie Mary said, Elmar Clausen, good evening. How now you can come. I've been to Bloemfontein. I won't make it on this trip, unfortunately. I'll try to make next trip. I'll try to make a point of going to Bloemfontein because I haven't been there in a while. Okay, 2022 is my last visit. And no reason you don't have to worry about coming back for the second meet and greet. Cool Beans, that's fine. Had a very important question. Family if I came over. Okay, you're asking a refugee question. They just ask you not to ask that. Your son wants to come back to South Africa. Well, then he shouldn't have defrauded the U.S. I don't mean to be rude, but why does he need to come back to South Africa? Is his life no longer in jeopardy? Then what was the basis for going over? I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just, that's how the U.S. government's going to look at it. Jackie Schmidt, Tart Cafe, icy cold, very wet. Chris, in the Northwest. Okay, that is cold up there here. Okay. Let me just, whoops, I just jumped ahead there. It's amazing meeting you. Hugging was like hugging hope. Well, I hope so, Linus, and I hope it goes well for you. Green Leaves, welcome to you. Pete Haas, hello. And Michelle Erasmus says, it's nice meeting you today. Likewise. Nikhil Sen says, how are you this evening? I'm okay. Thank you for asking. I appreciate it. I want to show you the nice things people gave me here just a few moments before we get into the refugee stuff. The trolls, because they had nothing else to do and it was rainy this morning, they must have just been hanging out. But you know what? I got an extra 500 views from trolls, so I'm not going to complain about that. Okay, what else? All to His Glory says it was crazy this morning. It was. Yep. And who else we got here? Who am I missing? It's my life. It's my life. Okay. The Sharks. Oh, I did say the Sharks are going to get spanked. I picked by 21. They lost by 54. So I may sound much better, but that's just a good front. I'm not much better. Still hacking away. I was hacking away on a phone call earlier. And CB says it's cold. You want to see the gifts? Okay, well, we're going to get to those in just a moment. From Christian Smith in Pretoria. Hello to you, Christian. Knows the Sharks lost by Richard's a Sharks fan. Where's Fonz? I haven't seen Fonz in donkey years. It's interesting. People watch the program, they say they're going to hang around, then they disappear. It's very strange. Okay, so let's see. So very nice gifts. Now, I met half a dozen people who got ineligibility letters today. It is heartbreaking. It really is to hear their story, and they don't know the reason why. I don't know they're going to get an answer. But I hope that they do get an answer. But one of the people who got an eligibility letter told us in front of everybody else, it's incredibly brave of her, and she gave me these lovely ginger cookies. Thank you so much for that. It's very kind of her and very courageous of her to come and share that publicly with people. Well, Nikki, I will be in Durban. I'm not a fan of Bunny Chow. I will be in Durban, 26th to the 28th. I've already covered that. Okay, love the gift from some young kids. Gave me this salted caramel toffee, which is nice. Also gave me this nougat, which I just damaged by bending the bar. Okay, but it's fine. The nougat's still edible. Thank you for that. That's very sweet. When I was last year, and maybe this would be good luck for these folks, because last year when I was in PE, and I met with Steve Forster and his family, his lovely kids. His daughter, his little girl, made me a drawing. She colored in her book of Pikachu and the Colonel, and it was very amazing. They had to wait a very long time, but they just went to the States while I was here. So they're now in America, he and his family. And not quick enough, because I have a video of them, people trying to break in their home, and they blixened this clown. They actually blixened him. He got stuck trying to get back over the gate when they caught him breaking in. He rushed out. His wife beat the crap out of him. He didn't come back there. So they're now in America, and they're safe in America. So I'm saying that their daughter gave me a lovely drawing. This evening, a young lady gave me this, "In God We Trust," and painted this, or drew this lovely picture for me with an awesome eagle there. And maybe it's good luck for them. It was good luck for Steen and his kids to get to America. So there's that. Then someone gave me the very thoughtful book here. It's a novel of Africa Today. It's an older book. It's called Uhuru by Robert Rourke, a long time ago. You can see this is an original in the pages. So this is very generous. Yeah, so it's about Kenya. I'll read that at some point, but not today. In the first meet and greet, where I got the ginger cookies, I also got this. This is from Michelle and Peter. Michelle is in the chat now, I believe, and you're going to love this. They had this, I don't know if they had this made or if they just found it, but it looks like it might have been made. This is pretty cool. So hang on. So check this out. You ready for this? I know it's going to be backwards. So they must have had it made. So "Stop your poppycock." And on the back, it says the Wyatt Army. That is so cool. So that was really, so obviously they had that made. It wasn't something they prefab. So that's brilliant. That's brilliant. That's awesome. Very thoughtful. Thank you for that. And it came with a couple of other things. They also gave me these mugs. I have to find somebody to carry things over for me. Okay. Check this out. Here's one of the mugs. I'm going to have to drinking these a lot when I'm on air. So this one says, "Stop your poppycock." And it's the Wyatt Army right there. And the other side, it says, "Loyalty, strength, brotherhood, freedom, Wyatt Army." Isn't that cool? It's a very nice gift. Thank you for that. I don't know if they knew somebody that made these, or you get these from Temu, or how you get them, but they're wonderful. Thank you. So here's another one. And this one is a little different. So this one has a Wyatt Army on it: faith, family, and freedom. Okay, Wyatt Army, okay, on the back. And then on this side has Colonel Chris Wyatt. Got a little more darkness in my hair there. I like that. That's a little darker. It's pretty good. So there you go. How cool is that? Yeah, the mugs are awesome, and the shirt's awesome too. Thank you for that. It's interesting because some people have more resources and they're generous. Other people have few resources and they're generous, and it's just amazing how wonderful people are. Yeah, it's very heartwarming. So there's that. Then I received this really awesome Nelspruit meet and greet calendar for next year. It was put together. It says Nelspruit meet and greet across the top, but it's not photographs of meet and greet. It's of wildlife in Africa. I assume in Kruger, so it's pretty cool. Yep. So there's that's like a Hemsbach. Yep. So that's pretty nice, and that came with a bunch of treats. I was given a bunch of treats. So I think that's biltong. Smells like biltong. Okay. I was given this red cappuccino. Cool beans. Then there is a Ritter Sport. Someone knew I like Ritter Sport. I prefer the Traubemousse or the milk chocolate, but that's praline. Thank you for that. There's a letter in here. And oh my goodness, last night I ate the last of my Haribo cherries. My Haribo Happy Cherries. I just ate them all. I gobbled them up last night. And I was desperate for some more Haribo. And look what was in the bag. Haribo Gummibären. Haribo macht Kinder froh und Erwachsene ebenso. There you go. If you don't know what that means, it means Haribo makes children happy and adults as well. Sounds a lot better in German. Haribo macht Kinder froh und Erwachsene ebenso. Lovely letter. I don't know if I can read it out loud, but let me just see. Oh, okay. So the binding was done incorrectly, but that's okay. For that calendar. Dear Colonel Wyatt, having the opportunity to meet you today was a great honor. No elegant words or special gifts could adequately convey our immense appreciation for everything you do for South Africans. Thank you for always sharing the truth. Thank you for giving so generously of your time, expecting nothing in return. Well, I mean, if I'm going to keep getting the red cappuccinos and the gummy bears, I'm going to expect that in return. Yep. Thank you for always going the extra mile, and thank you for your servant heart. The first of thank yous. The list of thank yous could continue for much longer. Please accept this as a humble token of our deep gratitude. We hope it will bring back fond memories of the Nelspruit meet and greet. Oh, I'll have fond memories. Thank you so much for this. The duck prosciutto is home. Oh, okay. Duck prosciutto. Is that what's in the bag? Okay. Is home cured. Okay. A lovely, salty, artisanal bite. The calendar contains some of our favorite low-feld photographs taken by our eldest teenage son. Oh, I didn't know that. The son took the photographs. That's even cooler. So it has a personal meaning to it. He is also an avid birder and says the bird from your video is a purple-crested turaco. Turaco. That's pretty cool. The print shop unfortunately made a mistake with the binding. It was supposed to be along the length. Hope you forgive the mistake. Oh, the Lubithin. Forgive the mistake. I didn't even realize it was a mistake, so there's nothing to forgive. Thank you so much for this. These will be gone shortly after after tonight's stream. Every one of those will be in my belly. Like Fat Bastard said on Austin Powers, get in my belly. Those will be gone tonight. I guarantee that. Those gummy bears are short for this planet. They will be gone very soon. Excuse me. Thank you all for the lovely gifts. I don't think I forgot any. If I did, it wasn't intentional. And I know I can bend down here and talk because the mic is on my chest, so you'll still hear me even though I'm bent over. You may not see me correctly, but you'll know I'm here. Thank you all so much from the Erasmus family and all the others who gave me lovely gifts to see me. It was beyond generous, and it made today, which was a difficult day, a bit easier, including the ginger cookies from a lady who received an eligibility letter. Excuse me, I've got a cough. Today, for me, was a little difficult. Not because I was overworked, although I spent 6.5 hours doing meet and greets, another hour on the channel with the Conscious Caracal. It was difficult for me because I met a half a dozen people who received ineligibility letters. They all seemed like fine people in my meeting with them. It was a shame. Lioness says it was a blessing meeting you. I cried when we got home. So much love and gratitude for you and all you do. Well, thank you, Lioness. It's very kind of you. Your hug was quite a special hug, and I will remember it. Find you now until I left you. I need to know and how to get Carol. If you have a family member in trouble, if you're in contact with through the Discord group with Hendo, you can send him information and get in touch with Hendo, and he'll get in touch with me. Okay. Otherwise, send me an email. But I mean, unless you tell me something to tell, I'm not really probably going to see that in the email. Yep. So anyway, so cool. We love the mags. Okay. That's my dad's favorite candy, the cherries. Yeah, the cherries, the happy cherries from I used to love them when I was in Germany when I was younger, but I didn't eat them for a long time. But here in South Africa, I see them, I buy them. It's the second time I found them. Bolvar, you're so thoughtful. Louise, they are very thoughtful, but they don't smell as nice as my teddy bear. My teddy bear is safely ensconced in Parklands for the moment. Yeah, I was pouring cats and dogs here in Nelspruit. That was for damn sure. Anyway. Beautiful. It's made and printed locally. Yep. Excuse me. Elise Dickens says, met you Woodbridge. You're still coughing. Yep, I am coughing still. Dwayne, your son came with you at 17, now wants to turn at 18. Why? Is there a girl involved? If there's a girl involved, which is probably the reason, There's no other reason to come back. Michelle says it was customary for you. Yeah, I got that impression after opening up. I didn't realize. I thought that was like something you saw, but you got that quote from me. Do not understand you're going to stay at the Orange Restaurant, though you had an appointment. We do not have power for 2 days, so we slipped the timeline. But all is well. It was great to meet you. Okay, Pete, but I mean, I'm confused. Yeah, I'm staying here at the Orange Restaurant, so I'm confused by your statement. Protect us, please don't ban it next time. Yeah, Richard, I didn't give the bird a timeout. Yeah. Lots of birds are protected in this country, especially Hadidas, and the best thing for them is remove them. Meriton, welcome. First time watching again after a few months. Well, welcome to you, Charlene Key. Welcome to you, Charlene Key. Yeah, I will try to make an effort to go to the Val Triangle, but I can't promise that's going to happen. Ever get a picture? Did you ever get to take a picture of that loud bird? No, I didn't get a picture. Yes, the Sharks got rolled over, and I predicted they would lose badly, but not as badly as they lost. Shows you just how good the Stormers are that they held the All Blacks to 14-14 for 67 minutes. Ah, my goodness. Thank you, Cool Beans. It was pretty cool. I was enjoying meeting you. Yeah, Ernst is a very nice guy. Wildlife African Park in Texas. Yes, I'm aware of that. Again, folks, you've been warned that we're not answering refugee questions, yet you keep asking it. My moderator is dutifully taking the questions out. Please be respectful, and we'll get to those questions. It's not a refugee channel. I spend a lot of time helping refugees. You can have the courtesy to, hang out for a few minutes while we get to that. Can't get enough of horrible lamb journeys, a big variety of them. Yep. Can't get enough of. Okay. Did you have a look at your mails? No, I haven't, Larry. I spent 6.5 hours doing 2 meet greets, another hour doing a broadcast, and now here I'm here. I'm here at this stream. So no, I haven't had a chance. At breakfast this morning, I answered about 35 or 45 WhatsApps, and I looked at a dozen messages. I do not have internet tonight, Linus. I'm using my mobile again. Okay, let me get to some news here, and then we'll get back and we'll start talking other issues. Snow has hit parts of Gauteng. And so started falling in parts of Gauteng as cloudy, cold, and wet conditions continue to show cold on the country. Snow reporters received reports of snow in Johannesburg South, Oakdean, and on the eastern end, including Germiston and Bedfordview. Interesting. Mercury Leaning, meanwhile, says it's recorded at least 2 weather-related incidents over the past 24 hours. South Africans don't know how to handle snow, so this is bad news for them. Parliament is not buying the story that Fidel Adams is giving them. The leader of the National Colored Congress claims he had a delay for 10 months turning in his document because of a laptop issue. The Strong Commission advocate Matthew Chickalison revealed that while Adams had been asked to provide a statement on the cases in October last year, he only did so Monday at 9 p.m. Adams' criminal accusations against crime intelligence head Dumisani Kumalo and his colleagues led to IDAC launching multiple cases against them. Well, Fidel Adams is getting himself in a lot of trouble recently. The MK party has plunged in eThekwini, Durban. The MK party still leads eThekwini with 33% in the latest poll, but it's down from 48% in 2024. 2 years of internal chaos under Jacob Zuma is the problem. The Inkatha Freedom Party is the main beneficiary, surging, so you can see that people continue to vote based ethnic affiliation, Zulu, rather than the best party. Not that there's a problem with the IP, I'm just saying it's recognized as a Zulu party. And they left the MK party, which is a Zulu party, and went to the IFP, which is a Zulu party. So they've surged from 5.5% to 16% in Durban, while the DA retains position 23% in second place, and the ANC has recovered modestly at 18%, well below its peak of 42% a few years ago. Yep. So MK is getting pummeled in KZN. And why not? South Africans glommed onto this party because it was a Zulu-based party and it was Jacob Zuma. And they presumed that meant that they would look out for their Zulu interests. When in fact, Nothing could be further from the truth. This is a vanity project for a bum-hurt former ANC member who was kicked out of the party, and his feelings are hurt because he was in a liberation struggle. He actually was the person responsible for a lot of the carnage that happened with MK so-called turncoats in places like Quattro in Angola. And his feelings are hurt. EFF is at 4%. The Freedom Front Plus is up to 3% in Durban, which is a surprise. And the Minority Front, that is for Indians, has 2%. So, yeah, people are gaining at the expense of MK. Interesting to see. So that's what's happening in Durban. The Sharks were pummeled, 54-0. The All Blacks turned on the style in the second half after demolished the Sharks 54-0 in a wet Kings Park in Durban. I was originally going to go to that game, but it conflicted with this trip, and this was more important than going to another Sharks game to watch them get pummeled. So I stayed here. They led 14-0 halftime. And then they just turned it on in the second half. Vastly improved performance by the All Blacks after their game against Stormers last week when they barely won that game, 38-21. And saying that says something. Barely winning a game when you won by 17 points is a true statement, but it seems odd to say the team that won by 17 points barely won, but it's true. It is true. Next assignment is Saturday against the Bulls at Loftus, and I shall be there. All right, so that's a wrap. The All Blacks just too good for us. Yep, nothing to 54. For others who keep saying I'm better, are you serious? When I stand or lie down, it seems to be better, but it's not better now. Congratulations to Jordan Hendricks of the Springbok, and Shark is engaged to Julia Daisy. Sharks fly half and Springboks fly half. Jordan Hendricks is engaged to partner Julia Daisy after proposing to her in Frunge Hook. He previously described Daisy as a soulmate, best friend, and safe place. Engagement comes as 25-year-old rugby star and his brother, fellow Springbok Jane Hendricks, recover from injuries. So he popped the question at La Roche Estate in Frunge Hook. There you go. Congratulations. A couple of hours ago, a boat in Zimbabwe on Lake Kariba capsized with 95 people aboard, 5 crew members, and 90 passengers. Rescue efforts were underway last I heard. It's a big disaster. This is a Kariba resident, Sam Mukawambe, says, it's a big disaster. I can tell you, I'm not sure yet how many people exactly survived or died. I just saw police and army officers in a helicopter flying around the lake. When the accident occurred, I understand this boat was traveling from one side of the lake to another, and it was overloaded. Yep, not a surprise. So Zimbabwe has collapsed and reduced itself to the level of broken countries in West Africa, where people consistently in the Congo and West Africa overload boats and people die. Shame, 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 shame. A Pakistan official says there are signs of peace deal in the Middle East. Yeah, we've been hearing this for weeks. A Pakistani official said parties inch closer to an elusive peace deal between the U.S. and Iran on Tuesday, the latest murmur of progress. Well, I'll believe it when I see it, and when the ghouls are removed from government, I'll be happy. President Trump has outlined strategies against Iran, saying U.S. controls Iran's money. Really? He said Iran's economic situation is not sustainable. The United States has total control of the regime's money. Well, how do we have control of their money? I don't understand that. In a pre-taped interview with Real America's Voice that aired today, Trump said there are multiple ways the administration could bring the war to an end. So let's do it. Continue to negotiate with Iran while allowing Iran's economy to struggle, carry out military strikes, or beat Iran economically. Yeah, well, President Trump, the credibility of this one's starting to disappear. Let's get it done. South Carolina, Wisconsin, and others are holding primaries tonight. In the Palmetto State, the effort to replace suddenly passing Lindsey Graham, his sister, is on the ballot for the Republican primary. Graham's sister, Darlene Graham, is fighting to keep her brother's seat, but she's facing competition from several leading Republicans, including Ralph Norman, Russell Fry, and Mark Sanford. Yeah, there's 10 Republican candidates looking for that seat, so she may get it, she may not. The winner will face Dr. Annie Andrews as a Democrat in November. Excuse me. That's not pleasant. THC builds up in the body, influencing inflammation. Isn't that something? And immunity. Unlike alcohol, THC, the primary psychoactive component found in cannabis, doesn't clear from the bloodstream in a few hours. I know. That's how we can test for it and find you guilty of using it. Behaves unlike most substances the body encounters. Many drugs are processed eliminated within hours, but THC takes a different path. Either after inhalation or ingestion, it enters the bloodstream and is distributed to the organs. Regular cannabis use leads to the accumulation of lipophilic substances in fat stores in highly vascularized organs such as the brain and liver. Substances are released back into the bloodstream very slowly, even when standard screening tests are negative. Interesting. So, will Trump's support be enough to lift Lindsey Graham's sister in South Carolina? That's a question the New York Times is asking. Will Francesca Hong's performance in Wisconsin, what does that say about her odds in November? The front runner for Democratic nomination for governor of Wisconsin is State Representative Francesca Hong, a demon rat socialist. So, she will win the Democratic nomination, but will she win in the fall? And then, of course, will Democrats nominate a moderate or progressive Minnesota Senate race? With al-Sayed's victory in Michigan comes a wave of Islamophobia, falsely claims New York Slimes. As Muslim politicians like Abdul al-Sayed in Michigan have become more prominent, they have experienced considerable bigotry. Now, they've been revealed as the frauds that they are. President Trump and Democrats were electing jihadists, said Democrats were electing jihadists. Senator Tommy Tuberville called Dr. Abdul al-Sayed a terrorist. Representative Nancy Mace described every single Muslim holding public office in America as a threat to both national security and our republic. And on Monday, President Trump said there were jihadists being elected all over the place. In the days since al-Sayed's victory in Michigan Democratic Senate primary, Republican leaders embrace Islamophobic attacks and falsehoods like these three comments portray him as an anti-American extremist. In fact, Dr. al-Sayed is an anti-American extremist, and his own words hang him. I don't care what Trump or these other people say. His history of criticizing fireworks, American football, and the right to bear arms. Resurfaced online posts of the podcast revealed that Abdul al-Sayed, the Michigan Democratic Senate nominee, criticized the 4th of July fireworks, so he hates America, the right to keep and bear arms, he hates the Constitution, and he linked football to the slave trade. He's a scumbag, radical, fascist Islamist, and that's not Islamophobia, that's calling a spade a spade. Al-Sayed is an America-hating scumbag, and he has no business in office. But people are dumb enough in Michigan to elect him, so they're going to get what they get. Yep, and calling people who criticize him Islamophobic is not only dumb, it's idiotic. It makes no sense whatsoever. So, now the New York Times betrays America. These scumbags, once again, are committing treason. Trump is said to have secretly used military jet to leave Turkey amid threats. So President Trump successfully removed from the NATO summit in Turkey by the Secret Service after threats from Iran to his aircraft. And now these scumbags are revealing to the world how it was done, because the treasonous bastards in the New York Times think it's their right and privilege to reveal classified information which endangers the public, endangers the president, because it's okay for them to do it. No, it's not. President Trump hid in an airport catering container, was taken to a military jet for a secret flight out of the country after the NATO summit last month. Maggie Haberman, Eric Schmidt, and Zolan Kano-Youngs are the treasonous bastards who hate America. Top administration officials engaged in elaborate deception to spirit President Trump out of Turkey during the NATO summit last month, transporting him in a catering container to a military jet because of a threat against him and Air Force One from Iran. Two senior U.S. officials who have betrayed their oath of office and should be sanctioned and removed from their positions, and real patriotic Americans hired in their place, told the New York Slimes. Mr. Trump and other officials said publicly that he would be leaving Turkey on July 8th aboard one of the older versions of Air Force One rather than a luxury 787 donated by Qatar, and that he had flown in on. Trump told reporters at the time that he was making the switch for old time's sake. Trump boarded the older plane from the left side door in view of cameras and news organizations, including the New York Slimes, reported that he traveled to and on Britain, where he switched back to a newer plane. The Times reported at the time the decision was driven by in part by concern about security. But instead of flying out in the older powder blue modified 747, he whisked off in a plane at via a catering container that had been lifted to the opposite side of the plane where the journalist traveling with him boarded. One official said the president was then taken to a third plane, which he flew secret to Britain. And they feel it's their necessity to tell the world and to the Islamic terrorist from Tehran what the president traveled in. That's what they think is their right and privilege. The New York Times is a slimy, smarmy, anti-American, lying publication that needs to be exposed at every chance. At least they have the courtesy to tell us that 3 other presidents have obscured their risky travel plans. Yes. And this is from Claire Moses. Thank you for that, Claire. Clinton covertly traveled to Pakistan in 2000. That is correct. And George W. Bush surprised the troops in Iraq in 2003. Nobody knew he was flying there. I remember that. And Barack Obama secretly visited Afghanistan in 2010. And nobody knew about that. So at least she carried the story. Illegal immigrant has pled guilty to purchasing 91 firearms. He was deported in 2024. Authorities said Samuel Rodrigo Melo Santos re-entered through Arizona to buy weapons and ammunition. An illegal immigrant from Mexico has pleaded guilty in federal court to charges of purchasing firearms, 91 firearms, and 40,000 rounds of ammunition. Wow. He illegally entered the United States through Arizona in May 2024, was arrested by U.S. Border Patrol and deported to Mexico. He re-entered illegally in an unknown date and location. Between May of 2024 and July of 2025, Melo Santos purchased 91 firearms for $56,448, along with 40,000 rounds of ammunition. This criminal illegal alien from Mexico pled guilty to buying more than 90 guns and 40,000 rounds of ammunition so he could legally resell them. Once the sentence is complete, we will remove him from our country. Wow. Yeah, they're no threat from illegal aliens. They're just good people. Russia has freed a former Marine, Robert Gilman, who's been imprisoned there for 4 years, more than 4 years. President Trump on Tuesday announced a U.S. citizen and former Marine Robert Gilman has been returned to American soil after being imprisoned in Russia for the past 4 years. After my discussions with Vladimir Putin, Russia agreed to release him very much on a humanitarian basis. We appreciate the decision, the fact that Russia asked for no one in return, no exchange took place. Wow. The 32-year-old teacher detained since 2022 was initially handed a 3.5-year sentence for allegedly beating a police officer after being taken off a train for causing disturbance. He was later convicted of what Russian officials say was attacking a prison inspector during a cell check, beating an investigator, and assaulting a guard. He was sentenced in October 2024 to 8 years and 1 month. His sentence was extended last year to 10 years after he found guilty of assaulting prison guards. See, they can trump this stuff up and keep you in prison forever in that corrupt country. Yep, so he has now been freed. He has a dissociative stupor A condition, non-responsive, unable to interact or eat, catatonic, and suffered severe case of pneumonia. It's a tragedy that his near-death condition, in this case, received attention that required for release to be negotiated. He was subjected to physical torture, forced medication, provocations by Russian authorities. Yep. So, of course, the Biden administration negotiated for lesbian, America-hating Brittany Griner to get out of Russia. That was important to get the lesbian who hates America and slandered our nation out, but they left a Marine to rot in prison where he was beaten in such a fashion. This is what happens under the leftists. They leave Americans to die. Okay. Okay. Oh yeah, these idiots think there's copper in fiber optic lines. It's just glass. They're dumb enough so they rip out the fiber because they're dumbasses and they destroy communications. Looks like my chat keeps disappearing. Let me turn off the pause this connection for 1 hour. Okay, so that should speed things up. I keep getting disconnected on my chat over here. Okay. If a family member leaves U.S. back to South as a refugee, can it affect the rest of the family's case in that way? I don't know the answer on that, Loves Bota. I don't know the answer on that, but I suspect it's not going to be looked upon happily. Been a long but good day for you, sir. Yes, Big Dutch, it's been a good day, but long. Same, Colonel. Hope you get better. Thank you. Okay, I've already been in this part. Let me get back here. I'm going to be in Polokwane. 16th, 17th, I think the time frame is next week. Belarus, we'll set something up. Only joined now, I just heard no refugee questions. Hope you get well. Thank you, Peter. Okay. Data center project after YouTube by citizens. 10 months for laptop issue. That's like old dog eating your homework excuse. Exactly, Linus. All these ideas we haven't seen in Parktown Prawn in 5 years. That sounds like AI. Thanks for meeting with us tonight, Colonel. We arrived safe back home. Hope you like the picture. Thank you very much for that. Bulls have a chance to win. Yeah, but not a strong one. Namibia is, yes, okay. Good evening, Colonel Chris. I hope that you had a wonderful day, Nelspruit. Thank you, Bristol Bear. I was supposed to do some building and nothing to work to do, but it's okay. Danny K's wife passed away from cancer. Yeah, they didn't say what the reason. I guess it was cancer. Zimbabwe minister in Zimbabwe was found in a BMW stolen in Gauteng. They found out by running a number plate. Chimney crickets. After 4 months, we got the certificate. Okay, I have no idea what that is. Nearly dropped my phone. I see the Sedgefield there, like 7 or 8 EFF affiliates even want to go. Yeah, there are. Our family nearly capsized in Lake Kariba. Gee, many crickets. Don't think it's easy to survive all the crocs and hippos. That's true. Yep. Crocs in the Vol River. That's news to me. I didn't know that. Okay. That's news to me. I'm way behind the chat. I'm trying to catch up here now, guys. Okay. Smash the like button. Okay. There's a fire today on Wyatt Road, Durban. Are you serious? Are you serious? My road had a fire, 100-meter road. Too many crickets. My son arrived USA, approximately $250. He's currently in, I don't know what Mears. What is Mears Fund and Motel? What is Mears? I have no idea what that is. After he's already paying $100 a day for no OR programs available. Okay, I don't know what you're talking about. That's bullshit. No OR programs available. Of course the OR programs available. He got $2,000. So what are you talking about? $2,000 in July. His agency got $2,450 to help him adjust. I don't know what you're talking about, Miss or Mr. An Johnson, or Ian Johnson. What are you talking about? Your son arrived in $250. And what is Mears? I have no idea what the hell Mears is. Every refugee gets $2,450, of which the agency keeps $450 back. The rest goes to the refugee, or money spent on their behalf by the agency. Now they're paying $100 for what? For accommodation? $100 is cheap for a hotel. No OR program available. That's nonsense. If there was no OR program, they wouldn't have come over as refugee. You don't know what you're talking about. You're confused about the terms you're using, or you don't know what you're talking about. Please clarify what you're trying to tell us. Is this real, or are you just trolling? Because nothing you said makes any sense there. OR if there's no OR program, there would be no refugee. OR handles the cases, so I don't know what you're talking about. And that was Janssen, okay? There's companies that offer service to obtain members' documents. I'm sure that there's people who make some damn boo-boo. Can't say anybody can organize documents. They can't, and you will get a fraudulent document, and you will be deemed ineligible for committing fraud. Pierre Fanikirk, thank you for the 70 Rand. Appreciate that. Even Colonel Chris, don't you think you're burning yourself out? Maybe your body's telling you to slow down a bit. Peter Huttinger, I only have so much time. It cost me a fortune to come here. There's a lot that has to be done. A lot of people need to be talked to. A lot of people need to be helped. And I will continue the pace that I'm at. But thank you for your concern. I really do appreciate it. You can rest when I get home. Dusty Corners, on my travels again. I've been here since July 21st. That would be 9 days in July, 11, 20 days. I've been here 3 weeks. Okay, please check your mails before you book accommodation, transportation, hotel. Okay, Larry, thank you for that. Yeah, I wrote to, my chat keeps disconnecting. I wrote to one of my viewers and asked if they'd already made accommodation for me on Thursday because I hadn't heard back about that. So I'll do that. I just need to fill out for now one night for Gauteng. That's the 13th, preferably somewhere in Johannesburg West, Northcliffe, somewhere like that, because I got a medical appointment in the morning over there. I need some place that has internet because I've got to call in the morning to Gareth Cliff. Yep. Anyway, all right. No crocodiles in the middle of Kariba, too deep. Yeah, that's true. Yep, too deep there. Okay. Is there a U.S. embassy in Durban? No, there's one embassy in a country. That's it. You don't have more than one. You have consulate services. Durban had consular services, but they're suspending them. I don't know if they're going to close the building or what, but they just announced that Durban would have consular services suspended. We have an embassy in Hatfield, and that's it. We offer consular services in Pretoria for Americans stationed there and others at our consulate services in Pretoria. We offer consular services for South Africans in Johannesburg. We offer consular services for South Africans in Cape Town, and we offer consular services for South Africans in Durban, which is a very large presence in a small country like South Africa. But Durban is being suspended as part of reorganization. So no, there's nothing for you in Durban, unfortunately. Oh, thank you. Maine Immigrant and Refugee Services directors sent email. They do not have OR access. $100 per night. This is happening now. Okay. Well, $100 per night. What do you mean they don't have OR access? I don't understand what that means. Okay, thank you. So you're not trolling. You're saying something real. But again, you're assuming. I mean, there's 50 states. I have no idea what MERS is. So let's just take a look. Maine Immigrant and Refugee Service. Okay, Maine Immigrant and Refugee Service. Okay. No, that's not what I wrote. Damn it. There it is. Okay. It's in Lewiston, which I think is, if I remember correctly, is. Okay. Okay, I don't know what they're talking about. They don't have OR access. They wouldn't have refugees if they had no OR access. That doesn't make any sense to me. So I don't understand what that means. Thank you for informing me and telling me what that was, but it doesn't make any sense. You can't have no OR access because you get refugees from ORR. I don't understand. So I don't understand why they don't have access. Pretoria says, Peter, okay. One last question. After the member left for South Africa, can it affect the family when they go for the interviews to get their green cards? I'm not aware that you get green card interviews. I could be mistaken. You apply for it. I didn't know that there's an interview involved there if you're already in the States. The Overberg region. Haven't I already been there? Where's the Overberg? Haven't I already been there? Okay, I didn't see that in carte blanche. Good night, Emirates. Other complaints about Maine on X. Okay. Yeah, I have been to Overberg, so I thought I'd already been there. Thank you, Move. I already thought I'd been there. Yeah, Janssen sent me an email. Okay, thank you. All the family members of the Zama family received a letter. Ah, damn. I remember that conversation. That's crazy. OR matching grant enrollment. The director's email notified me that son cannot apply for assistance. Well, I don't understand OR. There's no such thing as OR matching grant enrollment. There's no such thing. ORR doesn't do matching grants. ORR is part of the federal government. The federal government grants $2,450. That's it. The state of Maine may have matching grants, and maybe they call it that, but that's not from ORR. ORR is the Office of Refugee Resettlement. It's a federal organization run by Angie Salazar, whom I interact with and have talked to. They don't give matching grants. They don't do that. The grants come from the federal government, and that's it. There is refugee cash assistance and refugee medical assistance, which is administered by ORR, but there's no matching grants. I don't know what you're talking about there. It sounds to me like someone's pulling someone's chain. And you're not entitled to grants. I mean, grants are things that people give out if they want to. Not every state has matching grant programs. And I don't understand all this demand for grants. Thank you for that, Janssen, but I mean, I don't understand that at all. Let me go see what the email says, since you sent me an email. Pierre says, Colonel Wyatt, Rustenberg requesting support. Right? What is Rustenberg? Do you mean Rustenberg? I was told only once-off money is available. Yeah, after finish, you pay your own way. Okay, well, stop using all caps or you're going to be deleted. You're not allowed to do that. Okay? You've been asked not to do it. So you don't need to use all caps to get my attention. I'm obviously focusing on your questions right now. Yes, the U.S. Consulate in Durban welcomed new Consular General. That's true. But they also announced last week that they're curtailing services. It was in the South African press. Okay, so yeah, it is a once-off. Do people think they get a free ride when they go to the U.S.? You get one grant per refugee, $2,450. That's it. And people are screaming for matching grants. Why? It's up to a state whether they get matching grants. The federal government gives you $2,450. That's it. The matching grants are money that some states hand out. Not all states do it. What's your plans for tomorrow? I've got a few inspections after my gut meeting. I have got to decompress the range. It'd be nice to fire some bullets, but my day depends on what Mike has lined up for me, and I haven't had a chance to talk to him. I'll find out about that tomorrow. But it will include a trip to the stadium so that I can go to the kit store at Sneakers and buy some Pumas kit. Okay. So the matching grant, I mean, that's a state thing. That's not, I mean, it's so, it's interesting. I'm hearing more and more from South Africans who are complaining they're not being given handouts. And I'm a bit surprised to hear that from some folks. I'm not saying that's what you're saying here, Janssen. I'm just saying I'm surprised to hear that. People be given refuge, not welfare. I'd be embarrassed to be acting like a Somali if it were me. But it is a difficult thing to transition, get over there. If you're dead broke when you get there, it is a tough thing to get into, is to get your way around. But the bottom line with all of this, folks, is that it's like that keeps looking like carpets or that there's curtains moving. It's my imagination. Anyway, but matching grants are something states do. The federal government gives every refugee $2,450. Agencies can hold back $450. The other $2,000 goes to the refugee. It's supposed to be spent on their behalf, and if they're finishing the program, there's still money there, then you're supposed to get cash out. Let's see what else. Start cutting for caps. Other refugees are already paying $100 a night in a pocket after being in USA for only 30 days. Okay, thank you, Jens. It's becoming clear what you're saying now. $100 per night for a hotel. Why are they in a hotel? Is their agency not putting them into apartments? They should already in the permanent residence in most cases by 30 days. And they're paying $100 a night out of pocket. I don't know what's going on in Maine. I don't know what you said, Lewiston, right? I need someone to contact me. Maybe you did an email with information about who to talk to, because I mean, we're playing phone chat here and it's not working. Let me see if I can't find your message. Okay, let's see. Let's see when you send it. Let me try search by name. Oh, that's not what I typed. Damn it. Okay, let's see. Okay, nothing coming up as Janssen. Let me try it. Well, come on. Now it's searching. Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay, it didn't come up initially, but there it is. What happens when the funds are exhausted? I don't know. Urgent issue regarding OR matching grant program. As a they do not currently operate matching grant. Yeah, well, matching grant is a state program, not OR. So I don't know what they're calling. Okay, so they're probably saying it's the OR matching grant because they match what OR gives you. Do you understand? So OR gives you $2,450. They're calling it the OR matching grant because they match that, but they're currently not operating. Dyslexic special needs. SNAP, main care. Well, okay, first off, not eligible for SNAP. So if this refugee is getting SNAP, that's not even legal. That was made ineligible for refugees as of October 1st last year. Main care, being referred for refugee cash assistance. Well, you shouldn't be he's a single person, so he should never referred. He should already be in cash assistance. But it's very little money. Refugee cash assistance, not much. And it won't solve the combination program. Refugee cash assistance is only a few $100s. Okay, I don't understand why the organization is not helping this person with these needs. I mean, that would make sense to me. Okay, I've got your WhatsApp number. That's helpful for me. I could try to help you out with this. But I mean, I don't understand why, if you not tried to contact ORR about this issue, have you not contacted ORR? Okay. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's May 20th. Okay, sorry. So you sent me 2 of them today. Okay, you say $500, but there's no $500 per month. It's a once-off, one-time, $2,000. That's it. Oh, you actually give me the names. Okay, cool. Oh, okay. All right. Well, this is okay. You sent me 2 messages. Okay. And they're both short, so easy to fans. Okay. I will try to sort something out from 9,000 miles away to help him. But I mean, me talking to the agency isn't going to accomplish anything. I don't understand how we haven't gotten in touch with it. Or I also don't understand how, with the situation that your son is in, how he even went on his own. I don't understand that. It's not 2,500 monthly. It's one-time payment. Anyway. Sorry, I was reading the message. But someone's commenting. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, I've read the message, and the person does need some help. But again, I'm getting a lot of stuff from people who are saying that, I'm not getting money. People aren't giving me money, and my thoughts are, okay, did you go to America for handouts? Or did you go to America because your life is in jeopardy? This case in particular is different than that, so I'll try to address it in some way if I can. But I mean, other cases, people surprise me with the way that they say things, the way they do things. It doesn't come across very well. Some people sound like Somalis instead of South Africans, and that's not meant to insult Somalis or South Africans, but we know what happened in Minneapolis. And we also know that 75% of Somalis are still on public assistance all these years later. So I don't understand how South Africans can't get it. If I have minor kids, will they be allowed to come visit their dad who was found ineligible in South Africa? Since I assume he won't be granted a visa to come visit them. No, they won't be allowed to go for a visit. That's not an unusual situation. A death in the family or a funeral or medical serious that you can ask for permission to go back, but generally speaking, no, you won't be able to come back. Cat fell off the couch. Recent study being spoken about in Bill Maher stated that 1 every 5 people retiring in the trade sector in the USA, only 2 replace them. I don't know how accurate that is, but I know that there's a serious problem. Yep. California rents, ridiculous. Well, Karen, it's not just California. Florida's the same way. Okay. What is Dusty Corner saying? Yeah, people have come across with nothing and been done quite well. I miss what Dusty Corner said. How can you hit the ground running your FG? Very easy. Very easy. You arrive, your case officer gets you an appointment for your social security number. You get it within a week or 2. And your EAD comes in within 30 days. In the meantime, you're on Indeed.com, you're on Monster.com, you're looking for jobs, you're applying for jobs, you're going for interviews, you get a job, then you use public transport to get there, you do your job, you save your money, you buy a car, boom, you hit the ground running. You're paying bills already, you're working off, getting a credit score. Yeah, you hit the ground running. Look at Otopi's daughter. She was fantastic. She went to Iowa, never been on her own, 22 years old. She got there, instead of complaining and crying, she hit the ground. She got 3 jobs. She made money. She saved it. And then she out-migrated after her parents came about 5 months later, went to California. And now her fiance has come over. Okay. Curious how everyone seems so confident they are going. Single, no issues, pure record. Don't think I have trouble articulating it. My anxiety sort of. Libra, a lot of people make foolish mistakes. I got a message earlier from someone that told me about a family that sold their business, sold their cars, sold everything, and they just got ineligibility letters. Well, who told them to sell their business? Who told them to sell their cars? I didn't. I advised against it. People didn't listen to me. And now they can't go to America. So they have to start from scratch. That's sad. That's unfortunate, but that was unwise. And why people make those decisions? This is not a guarantee. It's not a promise. It's not an entitlement. It's not something you get. You don't get it because you get it if they grant it. And so again, follow my advice. Put your application in, Go to the meetings they ask you to go to, answer the questions honestly, provide the documentation they ask for, and move on with your life. You don't take your kids out of school. You don't sell your business. You don't quit your jobs. You don't go live in a guest house waiting to leave. You continue your life in South Africa as if you'd never applied. If you do that, then you're probably going to be okay. If you don't listen to me and you make foolish mistakes, you're going to put yourself in a bind. And that's unfortunate. But a number of South Africans do that. Very foolish. Don't understand why you have such faith in something you have no control over. As this person just said, I have no control over this. If it happens, it happens. You can't control it. All these people want to go back to South Africa for visits or just go back and negatively affect the program. Well, here's the bottom line. And look, I get the situation where the person says, can my kids go back to visit their father? You need to think about the question you just asked. I'm not giving you a hard time, but you need to think about that question. If that's a consideration, then you're not in jeopardy. Then your kids, then apparently you think it's safe for your kids to be in South Africa. So how did you get in a refugee program? Do you understand the logic there? I mean, if it's safe for your kids to come back here and be in South Africa, then they're not being persecuted. And then your case of persecution is legitimate. I mean, I get the fact that the spouse is ineligible and you're going to go over, or the ex is ineligible and you're going to go over with your kids, but then you want to send your kids back here? Do you understand the logic? If you present that to USCIS, they're going to wait a second. Time out. TMO. Yeah. Yep. Always upright, never lowered in the tackle. Yellow card, bunker review. That's what's going on here. You're getting yourself a yellow card, and it's going to go to bunker review. I'm not trying to be critical of you, and I'm not being critical of you. I've heard this from other people before. You need to think through what you're saying here. If you're saying these things, then the question is, are you really in jeopardy? Are you really being persecuted? Or are you just shopping for a destination? Again, I'm not attacking you. Please listen to what I'm saying. Don't get angry with me. I'm trying to explain to you how this will be viewed. Okay? Some people get angry with me because they don't listen. Yalla, leista. Okay? I'm saying that if you do that, if that's your concern, then the people who are responsible for the program are going to shake their head going, I thought this person was in jeopardy. Doesn't sound like they have a serious problem. You with me? Okay. Oh, and Linus just said leista. A driver's license expensive in America. I haven't had a car driven since. Well, I mean, it's okay, Karen. It's a good question. I mean, depends what you think expensive is. My driver's license cost $25. But if I wanted a real ID so I could fly on a plane, I would have had to pay $100. And that's only good for 4 years. So to me, $25 is not expensive for license. But last year we had people moaning about paying $30 to get a passport. Oh, we're poor. We have no money. Well, it's so cruel. You expect us to get a passport. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't expect to get anything. Well, you said we had to get a passport. Do you want to leave South Africa? Do you think Immigration and Home Affairs is going to let you leave the country without a passport? Then you're fantasy land. We have no say about that. That's the South African government. Driver's license, $25, dirt cheap, in my view. Every state's different. Skalk Grobla, God, that's a mouthful. Skalk Grobla, you don't get to pick the state you go to. You go where they have an absorption capacity and aid, see what the case officer are able to take you on. You can ask, but you're going to go where they put you. Pizza says, Otopi's daughter is my role model. That's cool. I get corrected in my Afrikaans mispronouncing Otopi. Okay. Pierre says, it blows my mind, all this reading about and squealing about money assistance. Where does South Africa accommodate anyone? Exactly. I mean, what has South Africa done? And that's the thing that kills me is people are like, I'm not getting matching grants. Michigan did give me matching grants. I didn't get food stamps. Well, what the hell did you get from the government of South Africa? And I'm sorry, I'm not being critical, but you expect taxpayers in America to fund that? You didn't get it from South Africa and you're demanding it from American taxpayers? I mean, I'm just saying it's anyway. Some of this stuff makes you shake your mind, So again, not directed at anybody in the chat tonight. These are general things that come up. Oh, A. Johnson said, thank you, County Colonel. I'm really hoping for guidance. No, I got you. When you asked the question, it came across as we have trolls that come in here and they try to upset the chat. They also try to get me to say things so that the heartburn crowd can steal my videos and lie about me and slander me. so sensitive right now. So my apologies if it came across, hot and heavy. I didn't intend to. That was certainly not. I hope you're understanding. So thank you. Live on this connect. Okay, nothing is free. Yeah, speech isn't free anymore. True, that's true. Are driving less expensive in America? I don't know. I've never taken driving lessons. I imagine they're not cheap. I mean, I took driver's education for free in high school, and I never had a driving lesson after that. Yeah, an eligible letter. Can a person not then get a holiday visa to visit USA? Are you totally blocked? Does this? Okay, so JF Fund in the Sun. How can I possibly answer that question? I don't know the answer. I don't know why the person got an eligibility letter. If I knew the reason, then I could answer the question, but I don't know. Was it for an administrative reason? Was it derogatory information? If you have been denied the refugee program because there's derogatory information in your background, you can be assured that that information is shared with other countries. And yes, it will affect your visa. You can't travel to the U.S. if you have derogatory information. That's the bottom line. Yep. Anyway. Rowan Svarts says, good evening. My friend in Florida hit the ground for running 6 months there, bought a new car, and now building a good life. Yeah, a lot of people do hit the ground and running. I mean, we had a refugee last year amongst the 59ers, 4 months after arrival in the United States, bought a house. I go to the meet and greet in Brockville, Maryland, and there's a brand new Tesla with temporary plates, a Ford F-350, brand new cars. Some people hit the ground. If they put you in a bad place, then you suck it up buttercup and you overcome it. You find work, you get money, you save money, and you move to a better place. That's what happens, Skulk. I mean, you get put in a bad place. Tough luck. It sucks, but tough luck. What are you going to do? Complain about it? Sit around and mope about it? No. Bullmark and plan. You get off your ass, you get out there and you solve it. And they treat you like crap. You don't take it personal. You get over it and you move on. The worst place you're put in America is 1,000 times better than places most people live in South Africa. Been self-employed for 5 years now. If I can make it with all the challenges here and not get paid for a job, yep, you can make it through up here. Okay. Hey, Hein, what's going on? Thought the refugee program was about persecution. Exactly. So if you're not looking for a job or owning land, why would it be a problem? I have no idea. I was with you. Why do everything up until that last part? What do you mean if you're not looking for a job and owning land, why would it be a problem? That I don't understand. The rest of it is about persecution. It's not about crime or safety. Not about that at all. Someone told me today they're scared. Their safety. I said, that's unfortunate, but that's not a basis for FT program. Directive psychosis around this among some immigration stressful, refugee or not. You either roll the dice or you don't. Exactly. People in South Africa should not expect anything other than the provisional support. It's America, not South Africa. Social grants are going to live off the government and taxpayers. Yep. Okay. Honestly, I think before you act, if you think you wanted to apply for anything other than the fact I have to, I must get out every day as a gift. Okay. Colonel, those curtains in your, yeah, they are moving. That's what I thought. It wasn't me. They were moving. It's weird. Anyway. Thank you. It's my life. I thought they were moving. License, Colonel. I'd like to learn to drive again. Oh, no, I got you. Driving lessons. But I mean, you have to take driving lessons if you're 16 in order to get a learner's permit. That's what I had to do in high school. Okay, GFK, I've read your email. You said you're not a troll. You drive the company. I'm telling you that the U.S. Embassy is advised against doing that. It's on their website. So, all right, you're not a troll. Okay, got it. I've checked my email. Yeah. Lee Bruce says, ungrateful is so sad, and we're so grateful simply not being targeted for my race, equal opportunity. Some people seem so demanding. Just keep in mind, you'll be able to work. A lot of companies need your social security number to enter into payroll. Well, all companies need that. If the four trekkers could do it, what they did exactly, you can start with nothing. I'm 62 and a small family. I'm seriously fearful and hope we get a chance to live and be safe. Yes, Jackie, agreed 100%. I missed the heavy snowfall in Grafrenet. Okay, really? Sorry, Corey. Yeah, I guess I did. Okay, my timing was good. If the place you're placed in is dodgy, you can address it through your caseworker or OR, but not silly things like someone complaining about wrong cutlery. Yep. No. Yeah. Well, I think that she's asking not about driving. It's not the curtains. It's the camera. Camera's refocusing because I'm moving. That's what it is. I just realized it. Curtains aren't moving. It's the camera. It looks like the curtains are moving. Yeah. So people are asking. Karen is asking about driving because she hasn't driven a long time. She wants lessons. You can get them. I don't know how expensive they are. I've never had a need for it. Yep. So, but Ohio does require classes. They've been very rude to refugees. Thank you for your service and all your helpful videos. I have 3 questions, you please. That's a lot of questions. Go ahead and start. Like rent for landlord, Joe brings 10 to 3 Ethiopian refugees, but the husband goes back to Ethiopia every few months. I ask myself, is he a refugee? He's not a refugee. He's a fraud. He's a fraud. And South Africa has massive refugee fraud. Massive. Almost every refugee and asylum seeker that comes to South Africa is a fraud. Yep. Ours says, I don't think the ineligibility letter will affect future visas unless it was for serious issues like criminal record. You wouldn't have qualified for visa in any case then. Correct. Keone, we were completely self-sufficient in 3 months. We worked our behinds off. My husband is still doing training to get the next level. Exactly. Well done. Person rejected with a refugee program. It'll hurt any future plans to immigrate. Well, you didn't read the text message from the person above. And I've already said this. It only affects you if it was derogatory information. It was another reason you're ineligible. But yeah, the chances are pretty good you'll never be able to come to America. If you don't qualify for the refugee program, odds are you won't qualify to come to America. All things being equal. I got a spam phone call here. Let me get rid of it. Hard work, but we knew we signed up when we came over. Hard work will most definitely make people come out on the other side and be proud of where they are. I was just thinking the other day about the 4 truckers having to find a way over the Drakensberg and Oshawa. Almost insurmountable challenges, but they persevered. Yep. A lot of destination shoppers slipped in the program. I think that's true. Is wind blowing outside? No, it's the camera. I just realized that. Do you need a green card to join the U.S. Army? That's correct, Skull. You need a green card. Used to be you didn't have to. You could join as a foreign national, but now you have to have a green card, and you have to meet the height, weight, the drug test standards, and the education standards for the service you join. It's recently started requiring trucking companies to make sure the drivers can read English. Yeah, that's a true story. Yep. There are a lot of jobs. Yep, there are tons of jobs. Hey, Hendo. There's Hendo. I was wondering if he was here. Great to meet you tonight, says Militist. I have the man at the door leaving early with the beard. Like to stay along with the group. Saw some media folks there that I don't like from Nelspruit. There were no media folks. There was one person who was here. One person. There were no media folks. One person. And he wasn't here at lunchtime. He came in the evening, and he left early. 50 years old with a university education, but have hit the BE ceiling. Okay? I think that this is unfair. Why shouldn't people look for the best place that they could go to? It doesn't change the fact that being persecuted, you get safely. You think what's unfair? You think what's unfair? That you get put where the U.S. government puts you? That's unfair? You don't understand a refugee. This isn't destination shopping. Or am I misunderstanding your comment? Maybe I missed something you said in your response. You think it's unfair? Good night, Amelia. Excuse me. I haven't driven since 1988. Yeah, I got you. So you're going to want driving classes. Yeah, I know people have gone to the U.S. who are refugees and making over $100,000. You say you know someone am I tall enough to join the U.S. Army? Probably, Linus. But age plays a role too. You have to be under a certain age. Utopi says you should start asking payment for service. Yeah, well, yeah, maybe. Maybe I start doing the cafe clutch and you have to be a paying member to come to it. What interview is coming up? Who did you see for what? Okay. Unfair. They're told that they're destination shopping. How can we know that? Oh, okay. That's different than what your statement implied. So that's the quarter. Let me explain to you why people say that. They're saying that because people are asking questions and making decisions based on, can I get a job? Can I go where I want to go? How much money will they give me? That's not a refugee. That's a person wanting something, wanting. Refugees are people suffering from persecution, whose lives, whose futures are in jeopardy. It's unsafe for them, or they can't succeed because they're being held back. Those are refugees. Refugees are happy to escape. Now, people can ask the questions, well, I get to go where I want to go. Can I influence it? Those are fair questions. But people saying, well, I want this, I don't want that. Well, you're not entitled to anything. No one's entitled to anything. It's the generosity of the American people that allow people to come over. And you'll go where they can put you if you're in the program. You want to move after you get settled, that's your prerogative. But you'll go where they have the capacity to absorb you and have a case officer for you. And you'll get what you get, and that's it. So you have to hit the ground running. But there's a lot of people here talking about they want grants, they want money, they want this, they want that, and not talking about, what they can do. I remember this program started, Chris, I've got these degrees. I can make a difference. I can help America. That's all fine and dandy, but that's not what gets you to be a refugee. It's whether you've been persecuted or not, and you can articulate that. Then you become a refugee. Then you arrive in America. Then we care about what you can do. But what you can do doesn't get you over, and where you want to go doesn't get you over, and what handouts you want doesn't get you over, whether you're being persecuted or not. And when you get there, if you sit back and wait for handouts, then you're going to fail. If you get the ground running and start looking for a job, you're going to succeed. With 4% unemployment, the only people not working are people who don't want to work. My aircon got stuck on last night. I turned it off. Oh, that's crazy. Sorry to hear that. You're welcome, T, for have a good night. If you're willing to work in America, you'll be absolutely in good shape. When you hear people complain about how poor they are and such, it's all because they're lazy. Yep. Good night, Richard. Okay, so Dusty Corners, I hope that explains where we're coming from on that. I was looking for this car, okay. And there's a 70 Rand from Pierre Fanique. Thank you for the super chat. You can also walk into some companies and ask if they're hiring. That's how I got the work I'm doing. Be prepared to do something new until you find a better permanent position. Exactly. Take a job that comes along, make money, put it in the bank, and while you're already working that job, look for another job that you want to do. Elmar Clausen, have a good night. I think they asked the most important question. McDonald's burgers bigger than they're here. Yeah, you did ask that question. Thank you for service to all those who yearn to become saying Flüchtlinge zu werden. Oh, for some reason, my thing is translating this into German, I guess because I speak German. Colonel, thank you for the service to all those who yearn to become refugees as well as those who are already refugees. And it translates, Oberst Wyatt, vielen Dank für Ihren Dienst an allen Menschen, die sich danach sehen, Flüchtlinge zu werden, sowie an diejenigen, die bereits Flüchtlinge sind. That's actually a very good translation. Wow, well done to my software. Are we good to ask general questions here as USA refugee programs? Here's something that don't want to detail real things. No, it's fine. You can ask a question now. We're past the news. This is time we can ask questions like that. Okay. After all the application rejections, I wouldn't give a flying fig if I make the program out. I won't beg you to say anything else. Well, speak again. That's fine. You go through these periods where you get this surly attitude. It's your nature, and it's unfortunate. The other times you're a lovely person, but sometimes you get like this. If that's how you feel, that's how you feel. Withdraw your application and don't go. So that's your prerogative, brother. It's up to you. It's up to you. I mean, you know, if you don't have the patience to wait and you want to disparage the program, you know, that's fine. But understand that U.S. government officials watch this program. U.S. government officials watch my chat. U.S. government officials take note of people. So people can say what they want. They can behave the way they want on social media. There are consequences to your behavior. Okay. Not saying that, you know, saying you're unhappy the program is going to get you taken out, but just be circumspect about how you behave in social media, folks. I don't publish my meet and greet schedule because I'm not going to jeopardize people's safety. Okay. You're welcome, Dusty Corners. Okay. I hope that was clear. So, and thank you for your question or your input, Dusty Corners. Okay. I paid $50 per driving lesson. In Iowa, only did 2 lessons. Passed the first time. The other family members used me for driving lessons. That's good, Kelly. That's funny. Is payment comparable in USA to that salary? Especially here, is paying, I think, from $1,000. What is a professional, Dusty Corners? I mean, prostitutes are professionals. I hope you're not talking about that. $1,300 an hour. That's about $60 an hour. Okay. My minimum rate normally is $250 an hour. So as a consultant, $250 an hour. That's my minimum rate normally, although I give the government a cheaper rate than that. That's $4,250 an hour for my minimum rate. My top rate is $17,000 an hour. I get that when I demand it. Yep. Hein loves my German. Ich auch. Also ich habe mich selbst gelehrt und ich habe Deutsch schon seit 1984 gesprochen. Ja, schon lange. I'm playing anything to people like us who want to go over and are stuck inside because of that letter. Hey, Petro Kruger, how are you? Yeah, spies watching the program. Exactly, Michael. I know. Try to tell people that. Why is it that the right-leaning parts of the U.S. media always want to paint Europe as a wars? Paint Europe as we obviously have problems, but many Americans seem to think it's carnage out there. Why is it the left-wing media always lie about America? I mean, let me turn your question back on you, Ocean Lantern. Why does Der Spiegel lie about America every day? Why does the Guardian lie about America every single day? Leftist rags. I don't know what you're talking about, right-leaning parts of U.S. media painting Europe as a war zone. I'm not sure what you're talking about, what media you're talking about, and when was it painted that way. I've never seen any such thing. I've simply seen the truth reported. The best hair, the best pay. Yeah, someone in my industry. Yeah. Software programmer, $250 an hour. That's not in the U.S. That's not even minimum wage. Minimum wage is $7.50 an hour, I think it is. Anyway, some states have higher minimum wage. Okay, all right, guys. We've been at this for an hour and a half. So thanks for tuning in. Be sure to hit the like button if you haven't done it already. Have I only really had 100? That can't be right. Oh, there it is, 900 views. Okay, yeah. So I'll see you tomorrow at some point. I'll probably do some shorts in the morning just with some thoughts and ruminations. I should call it the Loveld Luminations or something like that. I'll come up with something. Oh, finally, my freaking laptop stopped at the fan. It's been blowing the whole time. It's very annoying. John Pretorius, you're very welcome. 163 likes. That's pretty good. Thanks. All right, guys, have a good night. I'm going to get some rest and try to recover from this crap, and I'm going to be eating my gummy bears. Yep. All right. Y'all take care, and I will see you tomorrow sometime. Be safe out there, okay? You guys have a bias. Exactly. They do. All right. Cheers, everybody. Marushka, hello to you. Good night, everybody. Cheers.